Hello, hello. Well, if you folks are anything like me, you know, roguish, dashingly handsome, fearless freedom fighter, passionate lover. I joke. What I meant is, if you are anything like me and you are sort of chomping in the bit here, like, get on with it, Pennsylvania. It's the point of this long survey. I'm with you. The thing is, I've been pinching the hose for so long, and I have so much content that needs to just come pouring out, but I gotta do it thoroughly. Make all the data and evidence gathering worthwhile. Leave no stone left unturned, or no turn left unstoned. Shout out to you, Paul Foster. Anyway, Pennsylvania, I started with the most difficult first. I don't know if I mentioned this, but there are far more exhibits in Pennsylvania than any other state. Therefore, it'll be very much smooth sailing after this, if we can just get through this. But we must examine all the sites to find out what's really going on in America. And so here we go. Tiptoe through the tulips. And as you can tell, even your most basic residents here is exhibiting certain forms of traits that we might view as being rather dubious, And this here is a monument to Dr. Nathaniel Bedford, who, if my memory serves me, was the Freemason founder of the area. This interesting chalice with the little pineal gland here, and, of course, the sun, the moon, the Freemason symbol. And I don't know what this is. I can't tell if this is like a weird alien craft or something, or maybe it's I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I do know it looks creepy. And honestly, it's hard to tell with this black and white photo, but it looks as if it's been underwater for a while. And what have we down there? Oh, but yeah, it looks kind of like it's been underwater. I don't know. Just the way it looks weathered like that. Just what it looks like. I'm not saying it was. Although these dipsy little foundations do lend the idea. Oh, for a second I was lost, but then I was like, oh, I see you. Must be in Pennsylvania still. Thank God. He said, making another poor joke at the expense of Pennsylvania in the early 1900s. Why, if they were alive today, they'd be chasing my ass with pitchforks and gravy. I don't know why gravy, but we have these repeated little symbols here. Very curious picture this. You see all these cars that are just exactly the same, matching the people who all are dressed exactly the same, usually. And this building is just the contrast here. It almost looks like a line drawing. I'm not saying that it is. I can see that it's a photograph. It just looks bizarre. Just the whole scene is just very, very sort of cold and lifeless. And not to mention the fact that the building itself is ridiculous. This is taken in the 50s. And I just cannot believe this is the Drexel Institute. How absolutely over the top ridiculous this building is. The idea that these men and women in the early 1900s, not even 20 years into the central bank, are going to feel the need, the desire, much less figure out how, to create this building with these frescoes and these columns and this. I mean, it's just ridiculous. With a god mounted here in the doorway. Why would anyone in Philadelphia? Why would they make this today? Much less then. And they're supposedly a Christian nation. Up. Here we're gonna make this pagan building. Basically, this is like a pagan temple. Is what it looks like. And again, the second floor underneath is protected by a guardrail. And the windows down here submerged. So you're going to dig a basement. And then you're going to put this temple up. Or Drexel Institute, whatever. And it's just... And the Drexels, they are deeply rooted in the old Illuminati bloodlines and all that. I don't know if they're actually a member, but they are married into that incestuous bunch of bastards. I believe the Drexel Institute later became Chase Bank. More of the same. The brick residences, their little mysteries. Lots of this herringbone brick pattern, which I didn't realize how much of this was in Pennsylvania. This is a difficult pattern to lay, and it's uncommon. Again, the questions that I have are, why on earth and how on earth could you scrape together the fortune that it would have cost just to gather the material just to build this building, this residence? And that's possible, sure. But then to abandon it, and all of this before, 1930? I just don't see how that timeline... And it's overgrown, and it just looks like it's been abandoned for a year. It just doesn't make sense to me. Everywhere you go out here in Pennsylvania, it's just rubble. Like this old barn, okay. The fact that it's leaning and kind of misshapen, fine. I mean, it's made just of wood. That happens after a few winters. And this one's probably seen a lot more than just a few winters. These buildings I'm not tripping about. I wonder a little bit about sometimes of the foundations on some of them. Or like why this door is just to the middle of nothing. And they call it a root cellar, but I have my doubts. I think a lot of these cities are just buried. Just not sure why would you even build this like this? And the fact that the foundation always looks like it's made from a different material. Just questions that I have. And that's very nice looking. This looking kind of a space age almost. This is the old Dunkel's Gulf Station, Pittsburgh. Looks like we're back on Chestnut Street. Man, these jump around quite a bit. You know, in a way, I'm misrepresenting this survey because I feel what's happened here is the way that I sorted these was just alphabetical order. And I think that what happened is it took them out of sequence. So whereas normally you'll see the outside of the house, and then you'll see the front door, and you'll see the inside. You know, you'll see more of the property on an individual basis versus jumping around like this. A windmill at some point, or at least an homage to it. So, curious foundations here. This looking like it was an old barn kind of reconfigured. But maybe not. Maybe they just built a style like that. There's a real looker. This is in Erie County. Looks like they've got some higher standards here. And there's that old bridge. Ancient bottom, modern top look. Seems to be so prevalent. And this is a railroad and coal company foundry. Curious how they ended sort of bricked up like that. Some shots from the engineering record. Yeah. And this is Ray's Hill Tunnel, a Rock Hill Furnace, Huntington County, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I don't think I'd go in there.
Beautiful.
A church? Wow, it's great commentary. Here's a church. Buh. This is the penitentiary. Very unique shape. It almost looks like an old Schnafford, doesn't it? Ebenezer Maxwell House. This is a brilliant piece of architecture. What a beautiful building. Ah, the old abandoned coal processing plant. Nobody needs coal anymore, right? Let's just smash all the windows. Let's just leave it all there. Who cares? Fuck Pennsylvania, alright, guys? Am I doing it right? Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. Just keep going. Man. Pennsylvania just keeps racking them up, man. Just keeps bringing in the golden era of beautiful homes, fully furnished and in immaculate condition. That's interesting. This is a garage, we're told. Rather silly decor for a garage, wouldn't you say? Not exactly the kind of building that the rough, hardy pioneers of old seemed like they would build. And this one is pretty ludicrous. A 4-story building. I'm not sure what the cutoff is to call these historic. This old castle looking like it's repurposed with these sort of sheds built inside what were towers, it looks like. And the whole thing a little too top-heavy. Probably goes down, another floor in order for it to be symmetrical. That might be the friendliest looking alley in the world. Classical architecture. Shifty fellow in a trench coat. Hey, you buster. You responsible for these windows? A two-tone door, eh? He's alive, says I here in the mouth. Well, finish what you started. And here's another random furnace. What's the deal with that? We're just gonna do this, huh? You can build this anywhere. What a strange place. And there's another furnace, looking completely ancient. Oh, what's this all about? What's the explanation for this? They have one? They don't have one. Original window? Just looking like roaming bushes huddled together or backed up. They're crowded around there to defend this house from you. You go away, dude, go away. What about your buttholes? Anyway, there's the bridge. Whoa. And this is... what is this? This is caving in? Look at all those bricks. See, some things never change in America. It's construction always. The contrast where you go from just busted out pile of wood heap to this. I mean, this looks ornate, and you can tell a lot of the decor is missing. We can imitate, but we can't. And this too. Entering through this door, and maybe this is how many different times it's been like rechurched. Old burial case company. Sounds kind of ominous. And of course, here we have the cream of the crop. This is the Erie Library. Just far too ornate for this time period. I mean, again, what are we doing here? And then you get this simple, basic little font, Public Library. It's a miracle for them that people fell for this. I wonder what that originally was. That is not natural. That is a stone wall. I mean, look at that. If that's not the destruction of something man-made, I don't know what is. And here we are. Aqueducts. And I suppose, what does this look like to you? I wonder, dear viewer. Because to my eyes, this looks like the edges of, like, beams or construction posts. I suppose they could be blocks, but they look to me like beams that maybe have been underwater. I don't know. And what in the fuck? They're calling this a bridge? Yeah, I don't get this. Looks to me like a huge wheel. It's like submerged or something underground. Why would they make it so sharp like this? I guess I gotta see more of that. That looks like brick. That looks like one of those old culverts just sort of redone, re-encased in concrete here. You gotta wonder what they're hiding. What'd they build this over? What are these? Counterweights. So they're digging something. There you have a photograph of the bridge over Oil Creek in Oil City. Destroyed by fire, 1890. Wait, what? So this looks like the engine. So the rest of the train fell in the water, but the engine stayed here on the bridge? This one looks like it's on the water. And why would it be on fire? Isn't this just stone and metal? Something sketchy about that. 1890, guy happens to be there to take a picture. I got questions, America. More aerial shots for the engineering record. And what is this? My God. Okay, now you tell me. You see this ravine. You see how we're doing this. This is astounding. I don't even know how they could have done this. And frankly, I don't think that they did. Look at the size of this little house down here. So you get the idea of what a size a man would be. And what is all this? Is this all ruined city? Fascinating stuff here. Here you have Erie Railway. You would think in the pinnacle of their success. And looking like it's been abandoned for 20 years. Which further underscores what I think. That there was people here. People that already had these railways. They already operated everything. And they no longer do. I don't know what that means. I'm thinking catastrophe, war, migration, pestilence, rapture, driven out, left by choice. Pick your poison. Honestly, it's not what I'm trying to figure out. First of all, I don't think it is even solvable. I don't even think that the point of being here in this realm, is to try to solve this mystery. We stop here to point out the shiny new bricks that just aren't blending in very well, are they, with the old ones? And also, what is going on here? Two different sized people, it would appear. But no, I must be crazy asking questions. What? What do you mean it's not? What do you mean you don't believe it's rational for someone to build massive buildings out of brick by the thousand and then abandon them 20 years later? You're a lunatic. But what do I know? I know that Pennsylvania has a buttload of abandoned buildings. That's what I know. And look at this, the road up here and the buildings way down here. Like, I don't think these were even fire escapes. They were just entrances. And you know these are old because you can see the intricacy of the brickwork up here. Hey, I see you down there, buddy. Wait, never mind. That's the fence post. I'm retarded. And here we got some rail shops, repair shops here for the trains. Again, looking ancienter than hell. It's a much later photograph to give you an idea of the, whoever built these builders, they were good. They were good. Ah, yes, of course, the early days. Hey, bud, you want to buy some white chairs? Yeah, I got some left over from a job we just did. No, thank you, sir. No soliciting. You read the sign. Dude, how'd you even hop this wagon off the tracks, dude? Some primitive ass. These are the best wheels you got. But yet you invented railroads. BS, dude. BS. All these antennas here in the background, unused. While they got this. Fuck. They just hate windows here. I mean, look how beat up everything is. Doesn't make any sense. Alright, so you got another one here. And we're supposed to believe that this is made by people who don't have electricity or power tools. How in the world were they getting up there? How in the world were they bringing all this material? I mean, it just logistically does not make sense. I mean, I built small little brick walls, little retaining walls. And the mess and the material is monstrous. Think how long it takes them to do anything. They were fixing like a little underground pipe or whatever in the road up the street here. In today's technology, it took like 6 months, and yet they were digging basements, using ornate furnishings, building buildings better than we can today, all over the country, and then abandoning them. Like, it's bullshit. What's in this tunnel? Something that I want you to see. You know, and if you think about the concept of mining, even the word itself, mine, like mine, and you have claims, like you stake claims on mine. I mean, it just sounds like a bunch of people discovered a continent that had all the people left. I don't know what happened to them. And so they ran around and claimed everything as for their own and thought they were doing a good thing. And it was kind of kept a hush-hush because if you walk in and a coworker is like eating a pizza and you're like, oh, hey, where'd that come from? And they're like, I don't know, man. It was just here. What are you going to do? You can be like, oh, sweet. And you walk over and you can help yourself to a piece, ain't you? But if they say, oh, it's mine, I bought it, I made it, are you going to do the same thing? No. You might ask, but you wouldn't feel the same sense of entitlement or ownership. And that's exactly what I feel like happened here. The first people here were like, no, we built this, yeah, we built this. So the people later couldn't just be like, well, then give me half. You know what I mean? But little did they know that they were being set up. Oh my God. What the fuck is wrong with this place? Look at this trash. Like, who would do this? I'm sure you made these out of brick, huh? Same as churches. No, this is a powerhouse. It's actually called the powerhouse. That's how you know. Yeah, all this infrastructure for the most part was here. That's how they back engineered so many things. This right here, you see this? Next time we're looking at the star forts, you look at the round turrets. Tell me if you don't see something just like this. Now, I don't think they were using it the same way these guys were, but they didn't need to. They were just using water. The movement of water has enough energy in it right there. Their war against Windows is really starting to get on my last nerve. But all this broken ground and... But anyway, I digress. Little did they know they're being sort of set up. Whoever the powers that be are, that vision... Someone that was able to formulate a plan to enslave us all. And so they lured these people in, cut deals with some of these earlier arrivals, swayed them over using their sorcery or whatever, and set about bending and twisting everything from the whatever world it was before, a society thriving on free energy and water, powered by rivers, canals. Look at these unhappy robots. Notice everything bricked up everywhere and buried and submerged, and they fucked up the infrastructure. And they've been sort of selling it back to us ever since, in the dirtiest ways possible. No more steam, we're gonna burn coal. No more wireless, free, wired, and you pay. And all the radiation, and all the electricity, and all the chemicals, and the air, and the food, and everything has just been destroyed. And the pharmaceutical companies, and everything's been set up. And the majority of the population just going right along with it because they've been patted on the back and given a degree and told they were intelligent. And they don't want to shatter that world that they're the 1% of. Everyone that goes to college, university, believes that they are part of some elite club, more educated than any who's ever come before, and more educated than 99% of the world. The fact is, most countries, middle school students, would fare better on educational tests than the average college graduate. Now, the goal here, for me, that looks like fits right in with Pennsylvania. I'm not trying to solve the mystery. I'm not trying to figure out what happened to the people that built these bridges. I'm curious about it, but I know that I'll never know. To me, this is not about solving this mystery. This is about being placed here or choosing to be here. And I think of it as like a terrifying ride, like the kind of amusement park or ride or haunted house roller coaster that's so surprising, so terrifying that at times it's not fun. After all, isn't that what we do for thrills? We put ourselves in situations that really shock us and scare us, and that's why horror movies are a genre. And so if we're our advanced spirits, why would we be any different? And maybe we go to this place to test ourselves, to find out how brave we are, to find out if we can hold on to our soul, or will we get tricked and duped and trapped? It's a big escape room. The point isn't to figure out how they do it, or who came before. The point is to look for the clues, find the clues, and get your team out of there. Now, I'm using lighthearted analogies to describe what I believe is kind of a battle between evil and good, but that's the outlook for me. And most of the people that are on this ride with me don't even know they're on a ride. I think that they're living on a ball covered in water that's hurtling through the universe at 1,000,000 miles per hour. They think that the moon and Mars are places you can go to. They believe that they are the pinnacle of human achievement, when really, there's almost nothing they can do better than the most primitive men that they can think of. But the clues are there. The symbology is the same everywhere. The clues are there. Every continent, every structure, and I am for humanity. Whether this is an entertaining ride or this is a serious battle for our souls, I don't know. But I intend to win. I intend to get out of here, not be trapped in this soul lure system. I intend to immerse myself in these clues and drag as many people out or show as many people light as I can. And if it takes going over every little bridge and every little bullshit brick abandoned building in Pennsylvania, then by God, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if it's one person finds one kernel of spark in these that they can take and run with. And to me, it's worth it, because you're worth it. Whoever you are out there, you're worthwhile. What else we got to live for? But them angels, or whoever it was that built this place, who had all the time in the world and knew the system so well they could make amazing things like this, only to be desecrated by these bastards. Maybe they had the foresight. A ridiculous building, by the way. Maybe they had the vision, and they knew the one thing they could count on would be the vanity and the egos of those who want control. And maybe if they made the right buildings beautiful enough, large enough, and they made the symbols so permanent, so difficult to hide, that they wouldn't be destroyed, that they'd just be co-opted. Or maybe they made them so massive and permanent that they couldn't be destroyed easily. And so they left us these clues as to how it works, how anodes work, and cathodes, or cathedrals. Clues in the words, clues in the symbols, the same way the enemy does. Don't be shy, ask questions, get involved, know your enemy, question everything. To the punk little bitch demons or whoever rigged this place, try not to be so obvious next time. Freaking losers. Look at this. You can fool some people sometime, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Kill our heroes, will you? There's that Pennsylvania flavor I've come to know so well. Underneath it all, brick, brick, brick. Hey, Jimmy, these your newspapers? Wow, something crazy must have happened to this place. What the fuck is this? Oh, just a random, completely out of place castle in Pennsylvania. Sunken into the earth. What more would you expect? Sadly, this is exactly what I come to expect. Well, that and this. This is so Pennsylvania. This and this, side by side, encapsulates what's wrong with this picture. Incredible. It really is. What was here, I wonder? What's in there, I wonder? Say, what's that? What's that for? Remember, one last thing. If they should somehow manage to kill your body, remember, don't go to the light.